Hey folks, how's it going? Second live stream of the week, with a rare 2 live stream weekend. Sunday, August 14, about 5 minutes to 1 p.m. Just about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, mid-20s Celsius. We're here in Midtown Manhattan. It's the 2022 Dominican Day Parade. And I just learned that apparently it's the 40th anniversary. So probably going to get started in a little bit. We're kind of on the top end of the parade, so it's probably going to take a little while for folks to get here, but figured we might as well get started, get folks to gather. Starting to hear some music, starting to see folks assemble. Parth is here. Good afternoon, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Room check 75. Hello, Adam. Good to see you. So it's just me today. Lisa's at home, though. I hope she'll be joining the chat at some point. We kind of overdid the walking yesterday, but I figured checking out the 40th anniversary of the Dominican Day Parade would be pretty cool. So we're going to give it some time for folks to assemble. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a sound check. So I'm doing a slightly different setup today. I'm not using the gimbal. I've got a tripod because I figure for the parade, really not planning to be walking around. Yep, there she is. Mrs. Bagels and Walks. Good to see you, Lisa. Thank you for tuning in into the chat. So we're over here, 6th Avenue, Midtown, right by the Tonight Show, just south of Radio City Music Hall. Kind of a cool spot to be. It's good to see everybody. It's been a little bit since we've done a parade. This is the 40th anniversary of the Dominican Day Parade. Hopefully, occasionally, especially as we wait, Wiki Lisa might help us out with some facts. So Romacek, you said you were going to the Spaniard, if I remember correctly. So how was everything? And is that where the burger was from, or did you check out some other stuff in the village?
Flags here, $2.
So I've moved around a little bit when I got here. I figured best not to stand directly opposite the guy who had his own speaker. And when I say his speaker, it wasn't one of those little Bluetooth speakers. He brought like
Beautiful invisible floats. Isn't that nice?
Fun parade, huh?
Great parade.
Waiting to get started. The guy had a full-on speaker, so I figured let's stand somewhere else. But I think we all know today is going to be a copyright disaster. So as long as they don't shut the stream off, we're doing okay. But we'll see how it goes. Smash burger at the Spaniard. Well, I'll have to take Lisa there one day. She is the burger eater in the family. So we'll see how this goes, but fun fact, I'm using Radio City Music Hall's Wi-Fi. All right. It's a big guy with a little dog. Joanna's here. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh, two little dogs barking very loudly to each other. Hope you can see how small these dogs are, and yet they're the loudest. There it is, Lisa enjoying herself with Mini Bagel on the couch. Perfect. So let me give you guys some shots. So again, I'm not using the gimbal today. I just figured since we're going to be at a parade, might as well set up a little tripod. So we're kind of stationary today. We're on 6th Avenue between 49th and 50th Street, right next to The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. The parade, if I remember correctly, and Lisa hopefully will correct me if I'm wrong, I think it runs from like 38th Street to mid-50s. So we're on the high end of the parade. It starts on the lower end, 30s, ends up here in the 50s. So it might be a little while before folks get here. That's okay. We got a good spot, hopefully a strong signal. And in any event, the crowd, which is beginning to assemble, has a lot of energy. So Wiki Lisa, if you wouldn't mind throwing in the chat at some point any facts you found about the parade. I saw like what the date signifies, that sort of thing. But what I do know is the parade has raised a ton of money, and they have used it for things like scholarships. So very cool to be here. Excited to see the parade, excited to support it, and happy to be with you all. $36 to $52. Okay, pretty close. If you guys could see the setup I have going on. Like I said, I'm using a tripod. I've got a crazy battery situation. Oh, the things we do for the live stream. Suke's here. So I know we've got folks from New York. We've got New Mexico. Photos from around New York. About to head out, but just checking in. Hey, good to see you, photos. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in. Have a great day. And obviously do us a favor. Leave a like. It'll help other folks find the stream. And of course, if you are new, my wife and I do live streams on the weekend, and then during the week I share recorded videos from me walking around New York City, showing you different sites. So feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Days like yesterday and today, we don't always know exactly when we're going to go live, so hit that notification bell so you can join us when we do. Appreciate it. Whoa, Prince Ice is here. Good to see you. Very good to see you, Prince Ice. Good evening, South Korea. How's the rain situation? How's the flood situation? Hope you're doing okay. Starting to feel the energy levels tick upwards. Again, Sunday, August 14th, it's the 40th anniversary of Dominican Day Parade. Celebrating the Dominican Republic with people from the Dominican Republic, our Dominican friends. If you're just joining, say hi in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. Parade should have started, starting down in the, I think Lisa said 36th Street to 52nd Street. All right, we have some insights from Lisa. So the parade is organized by Americans of Dominican origin. Started in 1982 as a local celebration with concerts and cultural events in the Washington Heights neighborhood. Love Washington Heights. In fact, we have a actually fairly recent video from Washington Heights. There's a series of murals. I mean, there's great, I think on every live stream we talk a little bit about it, but there's amazing street art throughout New York City. But in Washington Heights, there's a series of murals, of Audubon murals. So Audubon is the birds. Audubon Society, I guess, has its headquarters up there. I'm sure there's more history about that than I'm aware of. But there's a series of apparently like hundreds of the bird murals. So we walked around a couple miles on Broadway checking those out. So love the Washington Heights neighborhood. Clinton is here. Good afternoon. It's always good to see you, Clinton. Thank you for joining. Prince Ice, still raining, but think the worst is past. Doing great. All right, we're very happy to hear that. Stay safe. It's so funny, whenever it's raining, there's always somebody somewhere where it's not who wishes it was. So we're here, 6th Avenue, Manhattan, between 49th and 50th Streets. We're right next to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, 1 block south of Radio City Music Hall. Oh, we have more information from Wiki Lisa. It's held annually each August, 6th Avenue. Similar parades held in Haverstraw, New York, Paterson, New Jersey, Boston, Lawrence, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, and along the Grand Concourse in the Bronx. Yeah, I saw some videos of the one in the Bronx. That would be fun to check out. So one day we'll have to do that. And a big New York City thank you, Adam. Adam says, great, you're out covering the parade for us, Sean. Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you for joining the live stream. Starting to hear the music and starting to see folks assemble in the streets. So, like I said, we're kind of at the northern end, but we wanted to get a good spot. Might be a little bit before the parade gets here, but the music is getting louder. Let me see if I can. So I have it on one. Let me kind of zoom in a tiny bit. You can see where the, I don't know what you call it, but like the dais area. Lots of folks assembled over there, so they're probably doing the kickoff stuff. Whoa, and another $5 from. Big shout out to Wiki Lisa helping out with the info. She's saving the day. Big, 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 big New York City. Thank you to Adam. Love getting to spend the weekend with you guys. It's super fun. So yesterday, we did miles and miles of summer streets along Park Avenue where they closed Park Avenue to cars. Finished up at Union Square. So let's see. So we went from high 80s to 14th Street. So probably did like a little over 3 miles, something like that. Ended at the Union Square Green Market, which, let me tell you, smelled delicious. Last night, Lisa and I went, had a caprese salad in honor of the incredible smells at the Green Market. And for lunch, we went to Mamoun's, which is amazing New York City falafel. If you've never had that, highly recommend that. Lisa says we had to after that. Yeah, no, the smells at the Green Market, like, we kept talking about it, that we wish we could have, we had smell-o-visions, you guys could, it was unbelievable. I guess it was like just warm enough. It wasn't too hot, it was, I guess, just warm enough where you just really got a hit of everything. It was great. Prince, I wish they could deliver that with Uber Eats to Korea. But we've talked about it before. We've looked up Korean pizza, which, for folks in the chat, if you've never seen Korean pizza, check it out. It's really something to see. On our list to try one day. One day we hope to make it to South Korea. Lots of folks. We've seen a few vendors so far, so a bunch of folks obviously selling flags. We also saw an ISIS cart, which, oof, that sounded pretty good. So you guys, let me tilt the camera around a little bit just to give you guys a sense. So I'm again at the higher end of the parade. It's probably a little busier down in the 30s, but wanted a great view and a strong connection. Crowd is assembling, energy is high. And Lisa and I have had good luck streaming up here. It tends to have a stronger, we've noticed when we go too far south, when you're competing with so many people, we kind of lose out. Chris Styles here. Don't worry about Nightbot, Chris. See, Nightbot doesn't love too many emojis, but if I'm remembering my flags correctly, so correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying you're Puerto Rican, but your 2 sons are half Dominican? Tell me if I got that wrong. hope the copyright issues today are going to be phenomenal, I'm sure. Again, I was checking out some older videos from prior parades. The music is great, but YouTube's going to have a field day. But I'm hoping that you're starting to pick it up. It's really kicking off the energy. One day I'll have to remember to bring some binoculars or something so I can get a better sense of timing. Ah, well. Awesome, Chris says we're right. My wife and I have been to Puerto Rico. We had an amazing time there. Have not yet been to the Dominican Republic. That's on our list. One day. So we started to see the walkthrough. So when we have these big parades, you start to see the NYPD and other folks do some walkthroughs, make sure everything's looking okay. We've started to see that. It's a good sign, means things are probably moving along. Officially, I think the parade was supposed to start at 1 p.m. Again, we're at kind of the northern end, so it's going to take a little while for folks to get here. Wanted a kind of chill spot with a strong connection. I think we've accomplished that. If you're just joining, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Always curious to know. Music is getting louder and louder. Energy is high here in New York City for the 40th anniversary of the Dominican Day Parade. Lisa would probably like to know the folks near me have those comfortable chairs. One day we will figure out, we will get our act together, we will get some of those chairs. I think we're going to have really good music today. I'm excited for that. Lots of flag waving. Lisa says, yeah, they know what they're doing. I know. Some folks are parade pros. Others of us, just amateurs. Looking at the clock over here at the bus stop, 1:19 p.m., 81 degrees. It actually, I'm kind of in the shade, so it's not too bad. Prince Ice, all the parades we've been through together, core memories. Yes, absolutely. Chris Style, my friend, is the DJ of the Coca-Cola float. He's also Puerto Rican, but will be playing Dominican music. I love it. Well, I mean, I think we talk about this at every parade, but you know, it's all about the melting pot here. You have folks from all over the world enjoying and celebrating all these different people and cultures. Now, I will say this. One thing is that some of the parades have done is also have sort of street fairs associated with them. And let me tell you, when you have the parade and then afterwards you go smell the food, oh my God. Hola, hola. Afraid I would struggle to read the Cyrillic characters of your name, but welcome. Thank you for being here. Lisa says, very cool. Always fun to know when folks know somebody in the parade. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if folks are watching as well, in addition to Chris, if you know a float that we should be on the lookout for, let us know. We will do our best. Good point, Lisa. All right, so again, there are a few blocks down, but I am starting to really see tons of people assemble. So parade is moving and should be here in a little while. Thanks everybody for joining us, checking out the parade with us today. Over here, I'm gonna pan the camera around near the Major League Baseball store. Check that out, a couple blocks up at 51st Street. You can really hear the noise down there, so folks are starting to work their way up. The crowd is roaring. Oh my gosh, and I see, it's a little hard to see, I think, on the screen, just because, again, there's still a few, but the street is like filling up with people. Let's see if I can just tilt inwards a little bit. My setup is okay, but we're it's going to work a lot better as the parade gets closer. Just put a angle so we can see as much as we can. Try to get the camera. Try to get as much as we can. It's going to be a busy day. All right, I see a color guard making its way up. You'll see it on the screen in just a moment. Officially kicking off the beginning of the parade. So these are most likely members of the New York Police Department, but we'll know for sure in a moment. But I see, you know, New York City state flag, flag of the Dominican Republic, and United States flag. So you'll see it in just a moment, but marking the beginning of the parade. And again, big thank you to everybody for joining and checking out today's 40th Dominican Day Parade here live in New York City. 1:23 p.m. Standing by the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Radio City Music Hall in beautiful 6th Avenue, New York City. As we celebrate the Dominican Republic and our friends from the Dominican Republic. We know we've made it when the spam arrives to the channel. Goodbye to the spammer. All right, here we are. Color guard is arriving, kicking off the 40th Dominican Day Parade. Awesome. Beautiful. And some of our favorite people in New York City, members of the New York City Sanitation Department. According to Lisa, this year's Grand Marshal is New York City Department of Transportation Commissioner Idanis Rodriguez. Hopefully I pronounced that reasonably. That's very cool. Well, yesterday we did a live stream from Summer Streets, which is a big effort of the Department of Transportation. They blocked off Park Avenue to cars. So we had the street to ourselves and bikers. So bikes, pedestrians. Got to stand in the middle of the street, check out parts of Park Avenue you don't normally get to see. Got to walk through the Grand Central Viaduct, get up close and personal to the higher level of Grand Central. That was so much fun. So that's a big project of the Department of Transportation, so very cool to see that they're involved. And in fact, the Grand Marshal of 40th Dominican Day Parade. That's cool. Chris Style, the Puerto Rican and Dominican Day Parades are the biggest parades in New York City. They are definitely big and definitely high energy. New York City police band coming up next. You're probably starting to hear them. About a block away. Again, big shout out to the sanitation department putting on these shows. And then, well, they do a bunch of things, obviously, but one of the things they do, they keep the parade safe. So I don't know if we may see it later, but when you walk around, you'll see the garbage trucks that are used to block off the streets. So they have a huge role, not just in keeping the city clean, but New York City Sanitation Department, big fans. Coming up, New York City Police Department Police Band. So this should be the Grand Marshals and members of the parade. Obviously more members of New York City Police Department, another color guard. Hispanic Society of the Police Department. Presuming Dominican members of New York City Police. Awesome, beautiful. one of the fun things about these parades. Usually kicked off with members of the police department, sometimes the New York State Police, and basically every time there are these groups like the Hispanic Society of the Police Department, you know, of so many different cultures, and it's part of what makes New York City so great and why we love to call it home. This is auxiliary members of the police department and members of the police.
¡Que viva la policía dominicana!
Amazing energy today. We love a parade. And yet another example of our glorious melting pot. Starting to hear the sounds of Scottish bagpipes, but walking with the Hispanic Society of the Port Authority Police. Awesome. That's so great. So coming up next, the Hispanic Society of the Port Authority Police, together with Scottish bagpipes. That's so cool. Suke bagpipes, that is too great. Yeah, I'm guessing none of us necessarily expected bagpipes in today's parade, but let me tell you, it works. Bagpipes supporting the Hispanic Society of the Port Authority Police. And the camera on again so you guys can see a lot of folks have started to assemble, making their way here to Midtown Manhattan. We're on 6th Avenue here in New York between 49th and 50th Streets. We're by the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. We're by Radio City Music Hall. Getting word from Lisa that Mini Bagel is kicking. Sure does seem to like music, yeah. Every time we watch movies when there's like a lot of bass, so I bet the drumming, that's my guess. My guess is the drumming from the pipe and drum corps of the Port Authority. Waking up little mini bagel. That was so funny to see a pipe and drum corps. I love it. Also shows that the different groups at the Port Authority Police Department just coming out and supporting each other. Love to see it. So it's about 80 degrees here in New York, but it's come down considerably. It was in the mid 90s just a week ago, so it is feeling beautiful out here today. A lovely day for a parade here in New York City. Coming up next is Senator Chuck Schumer. Hey, Lala Turul is here. So it's actually already started. If you start to scroll back, last 5 or 10 minutes, you can see the first couple groups, which was the New York City Police Department, followed by the Port Authority Police. Up next, we're going to see Senator Chuck Schumer. Gregory Kelly is here. Great to see you, Gregory Kelly. Gregory says, hello, Sean, Lisa, baby, and all. Always good to see you, Gregory. Lisa is in the chat today, so here you go in the checkered blue shirt. Senator of New York, Chuck Schumer. Saluda a la comunidad dominicana. Senator Chuck Schumer. Hey, Cassandra. So the parade has already started. From my angle here at 50th Street, about 10 minutes ago. So if you scroll back about 10 minutes, you can see the New York City Police Department and followed by the Port Authority Police. Viva República Dominicana! Lisa and Mini Bagel were here, Mini Bagel would have felt that bass, let me tell you. Oh, that's so funny. So for those of you just joining, it's the 40th anniversary of the Dominican Day Parade. We're here live in New York City. The parade has begun. We have seen the New York City Police Department. We have seen Port Authority Police Department. We've seen New York Senator Chuck Schumer. They are working the crowd. We are feeling the energy here today at the Dominican Day Parade. Going to be terrific music today. Sue K says, interesting that Schumer shows up for a number of the parades. Gillibrand doesn't seem to, and no congresspeople, at least not that I've seen. So when we were at the Pride Parade, we did see Schumer, and it's a funny story, so I'm not going to get into the details, but I think I showed up in the New York Times as an anonymous person yelling at Chuck Schumer. And then we also saw Jerry Nadler. I think we saw somebody else, but I'm blanking on who else we might have seen. So we've seen Schumer, we've seen Nadler. That's a great point about Gillibrand. Now, the thing at the Pride Parade when we saw Schumer was we saw him before the parade officially started. So it is it's entirely, and we didn't stay until the very end, so it's entirely possible that she was there and we didn't see her. Gregory Kelly says Senator Schumer really seems to support his city. Well, he shows up. He does seem to show up. I love it. Afloat unto themselves. Nightbot giving a plug to subscribe. Thank you, Nightbot. Yeah, and hit that notification bell. So like yesterday and today, somewhat unscheduled. So hit that notification bell. We sometimes go live out of the blue. And of course, we'd love to have your company. Lisa and I typically go live on Sundays. And then during the week, I share recorded walks from all over New York City. Got some fun ones coming up this week, including Central Park. Chris MG is here. Chris, always good to see you. Everybody check out Chris's channel. Showing us both London and different parts of the world. And some really cool live events as well. Like parades and stuff. I'm hearing some serious honking, which I suspect means members of the New York City Fire Department. Can't wait to see them. Oh, excuse me?
Oh, thank you.
Of course. That is definitely the New York City Fire Department. We're hearing their horn blasting. We'll be seeing them momentarily. Oh, there's a Miss New York coming up. I'm trying to see the entire... Let's see. Miss New York USA 2022, Heather Nunez. Everybody say hello. Miss New York USA 2022, Heather Nunez. On October 3rd, she'll be live on FYI for Miss USA. Gregory Kelly loved yesterday's live stream. So yeah, yesterday we did Summer Streets, Park Avenue blocked to cars. So all bikes, all walkers. Had a blast. Thank you for joining yesterday too, Gregory. Chris MG, never seen this parade before, looking forward to it. Yeah, this is my first. I mean, a lot of these parades are my first as well. We've been trying to hit as many of them as we could. A couple more politicians. New York City Comptroller Brad Lander coming up. and the public advocate, Jamani Williams. So a few more of the local politicians. Followed by some volunteers from United Healthcare. Loving it, feeling today's energy. And you can probably hear it very clearly now. New York City Fire Department coming up, starting with a Fire Department color guard. FDNY, New York City's Fire Department. So that was members of the New York City Fire Department, Hispanic Society of the Fire Department, members of the Ambulance Corps. Prince Ice 2 live streams this weekend. Perfect choice. Yeah, no, we've really lucked out with cool events this weekend, and I'm as always deeply appreciative of you guys joining us. Gregory Kelly, love how NYPD and FDNY always participate in every parade. Yeah, and they tend to kick them off. Very cool to see. Love when you get to see the fire trucks. I will say I'm looking forward to the day we bring mini bagel to some of these parades, though, realizing we may need to invest in some tiny baby earmuffs. Coming up next, Latino Judges Association, proudly serving the community since 1985. So a few years younger than the Dominican Day Parade, which started in 1982. Cotton candy vendor coming up. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty nice today. Though I think there was a woman earlier selling ices, and I bet she's making a killing today. So the parade route is really starting to fill in more and more. Coming up next, Dios, Patria, Libertad. This is the New York Young Republican Club. Ooh, and the sun is starting to come out. I'm starting to feel that 81 degrees now. Fingers crossed that the phone will bear with us. Another vendor, flags and bandanas. Capitalism is strong at the parade today. If you're just joining, say hello in the chat and let us know where you're watching from. And welcome to today's 40th Dominican Day Parade live in New York City. Lisa says we've had such bright days for all the parades this year. Yeah, we've really lucked out. There were a couple where there was even rain forecast, but it's always worked out. So fingers crossed, today is a beautiful day. Folks seem really happy to be here. We love to see it. I will not be naming any names. I will not be ranking, because that's not very nice, but I will say some parades really figured out pacing. Gregory Kelly, New York City really celebrates its diversity. Absolutely. That's part of what makes the city so great. It's part of what makes the city so interesting. Lisa mentioned that the parade got its start in Washington Heights, one of the great movies of the past year, In the Heights. Definitely recommend checking that out. Thing with musicals is they really depend on crowd participation, and that one came out kind of, I think, just a touch early. If it came out right now, I think it would probably be doing a little bit better. But in any event, it is a great movie. It's got great music, so check out In the Heights. Lots of folks here, lots of flags of the Dominican Republic. Beautiful. Angela's here. Hello. It's so good to see you, Angela. Thank you for joining. Good afternoon from the 40th Dominican Day Parade here in New York City. So I don't think it's too bad, but I guess as fair warning, if we do get an overheat, I'll let the camera cool off and we'll start a new stream. But fingers crossed, hope for the best. For those just joining, if you want to scroll back a little bit, the parade has started. We've seen New York Police Department, we've seen the Auxiliary Police, we've seen Port Authority Police, and we've seen the Fire Department, as well as a few local politicians. So if you want to scroll back for a little bit, looks like we have a little bit of a gap in the parade. We probably have a few more minutes before the next group makes its way here. If you want to check out some of the marchers who've already come past, you can check out New York Police Department, Port Authority Police, Fire Department of New York, and some local politicians. And Miss New York. Oh, I didn't see her full title, but it looks like Miss Dominicana walking by. Very cool. Members of the New York City Police Department working the crowd. It's so funny. So as the parade works its way up, I'm starting to see hundreds and hundreds of flags waving, celebrating the Dominican Republic and our local Dominican community. Lisa says, looks like there's a nice breeze. Yeah, a little bit, I would say, but at the moment the sun is kind of directly bearing down. I would not mind if we got a little bit of cloud cover. But for 80 degrees, it's not too bad. And certainly a lot better than last week. Some of we mentioned the folks who bring the chairs to the parade. The other smart folks bring the umbrella for the sun. We are watching, we are learning. NM2645 is here. Thank you for covering this. Now it's our pleasure. We are very happy to be here and share the parade with you. I mentioned there is a little bit of a gap in the parade right now, so it's probably going to be a few more minutes before the next marchers make their way here. We are standing by. If you'd like, while we have this gap and want to see some of the earlier marchers, we had New York Police Department, Port Authority Police, Fire Department, the New York Fire Department, Miss New York, Senator Chuck Schumer, Brad Lander, Jumaane Williams. Probably missing a few, but smattering of folks. So feel free to scroll back for a little bit if you want to see the first marchers. Probably my favorite so far was Port Authority was supported by the Pipe and Drum Corps. That was super fun. And there was a DJ from the parade, so if you want to hear some cool music, you scroll back and we'll have the next marchers as they work their way up in a few minutes. Crystal, did the floats come by yet? No, so we've seen a few local politicians. We've seen the New York Police Department, we've seen the Port Authority Police, and we've seen the New York Fire Department. So if you want to scroll back a little bit, you can see those, but the floats have not really started yet. They'll be here. They're now they're just reaching 48th Street. We're closer to 50th, so they're about 2 blocks away. The sound is making its way here, so they're working their way forward. They're about 2 blocks away, and we will begin to see the parade floats. And I know for one, we are on the lookout for the Coca-Cola float. And if folks are watching at home and are looking for somebody they know in the parade, let me know and we'll be on the lookout for their float as well. That music you are beginning to hear are the marchers making their way down. They are about 1.5 blocks away, 2 blocks away. But they are moving closer to us. And it looks like they are being led by another DJ truck, so we're going to get some good music. And a gigantic Dominican flag, so stay tuned. Now about 1.5 blocks away. NM2645 with a $10 super chat. Hope you can get a cold drink. We will get something festive indeed. Big, 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 big New York City thank you to NM2645 for the $10 super chat. Thank you. Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks for celebrating the 40th Dominican Day Parade with us. And perfect timing. Chris Style, $4.99, another super chat. Big thank you. Chris Style, NM2645. Appreciate your donations and support. Here we go. Kick next wave of the parade. And members of New York City Fire Department coming back, working the crowd. Members of the Hispanic Society of FDNY. Chris, look out for the Coca-Cola float. We are looking out. This is interesting. So the truck that's coming is for Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. So we may be seeing New York's governor momentarily.
Make some noise!
Of the Dominican community. Chris Style was on the Coca-Cola float previously, part of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So friends of the governor are here with us. celebrating the 2022 Dominican Day Parade, the 40th anniversary of this parade. The entourage of Governor Kathy Hochul, followed by U.S. Representative Adriana. We saw Chuck Schumer, and we saw some members, we saw Brad Lander and Jamani Williams. Up next, Office Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine. So additional members of New York City, New York State government, and their entourages, followed by Council Member Carmen De La Rosa. Chris Style, tell us what it was like being on that parade. I mean, it must be an incredible feeling to see thousands and thousands of people cheering for you. Up next, Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa. And member of the New York Assembly, Manny De Los Santos, representing Washington Heights, Inwood, and Marble Hill. Interesting history there. For those of you who don't know, Marble Hill physically now next to the Bronx, but it's officially part of Manhattan. Learned that on my walk of every street of New York, of Manhattan. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And you love to see it. More bagpipes as part of the Dominican Day Parade. Hilarious. This is the New York City Correction Department. Society, Department of Corrections, New York City. Well, an absolutely gigantic contingent from New York City Correction Department. Working the crowd. Those were members of the Hispanic Society of the New York City Correction Department. So really starting with lots of different parts of New York City and state government. This is the office of Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. So we are working our way through basically all of local and state government in support of the Dominican community here in New York. Antonio Reynoso, Brooklyn Borough President. Coppola USA, Latin American Political Committee. JD, haven't seen a single float. Yeah, there's so far it's a lot of local and state government. We've seen a couple of floats where they have some DJs and stuff playing some awesome music. But the private groups have not really started yet. I was mentioning earlier, I think, different parades have different approaches. To me, the biggest thing is just pacing. I would just fill these gaps personally. Even if it's just smaller groups of individuals, like in this case, perhaps members of the Dominican community, just work in the crowd. I think that's better than leaving the big gaps. But every parade is different. Oh, JD's in the neighborhood. Let me know if you want to drink. I brought some drinks, so I'm well hydrated, but thank you. Appreciate that, and thank you for watching along with us. Yeah, thank you for joining. So on the weekend, my wife and I do live streams around New York City, but during the week, I also do walks all over New York City and share recordings of those. If you're new to the channel, consider leaving a like. It'll help other people find the stream today, and subscribing if you like exploring New York and want to explore New York City with me. Got a few groups making their way down about a block away. So it looks like it's going to have to get a little closer so I can read the whole thing, but we have some religious groups coming up. Let's see if we can read this. El desfile mariano de Nueva York. Grupos altagracianos participantes celebran 100 años. Wow. Dressed up beautifully here. JD says, Basilica de Altagracia is the biggest church in the Dominican Republic. Amazing. So, New York City Council Speaker Adrian Adams in support of the Dominican Day Parade. Speaker of the New York City Council, Adrian Adams. So funny, but again, local and state representatives from around New York. We saw earlier Chuck Schumer and thought he really shows up, but we've now seen so many additional members of local and state government representing and supporting the Dominican community here in New York. So up next, Vanessa Gibson. from the Bronx.
La gran comunidad dominicana. Buenas tardes, mi gente. Aquí estamos la Avenida de las Américas. Hoy, la Avenida Quisqueya.
Bronx representing here at the Dominican Day Parade. It's so great. 6th Avenue continues to fill. Many more people have shown up in support of our Dominican friends. Coming up next, Darcel D. Clark, also from the Bronx. Hear that. If you're Dominican, make some noise. Amazing. So it looks like we have another gap in the parade, so it'll probably be a few more minutes. So grab yourself a nice cold beverage. Stay tuned. Parade will probably be moving again in a few more minutes. We're here on 6th Avenue, near the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. We're near Radio City Music Hall. Midtown New York City. JD says Mayor Adams coming up next. So we've seen him a couple times. I saw him last Saturday during Summer Streets. So we'll see him shortly, it sounds like. Makes sense. Members of basically every level of New York government here today in support of the Dominican community. Gilvan is here from Brazil. Very nice to meet you, and thank you for being here, Gilvan. Welcome all the way from Brazil. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. Celebrating today the Dominican Parade here in New York City, the 40th anniversary. Lots of folks selling flags, bandanas, and now cold drinks. I brought a couple myself, so I'm doing okay. Miss Mundo Dominicana coming up, beautiful. JD Pride Parade is the most fun. Yeah, I mean we've now covered, I don't know, 5 or 6 different parades. They're all kind of cool in their own way, but I just love how much New York City celebrates different communities. We've been enjoying it. taking a picture in front of us. This is Miss Mundo Dominicana. It's so funny. So we'll see what happens this year. The reason Lisa's not with me is she walked with me yesterday, so my wife is pregnant, and we're due in October, and so I'm curious what the timing is going to look like with respect to Halloween. Are we going to have a Halloween baby? Are we going to see the Halloween parade? Earlier, later? TBD, time will tell.
Gracias.
Amazing. Miss Mundo Dominicana spending time with the community over here. Folks seem very excited to meet her. Lisa would have to remind me, was it the Philippine Day Parade? I think that one might have had the best pacing, where there weren't really any gaps, and the energy was so incredible. Was it the Philippine Day Parade? Let me know in the chat. But we've seen a lot of good ones. The St. Patrick's Day Parade was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. They've all been great in their own way, but that was really fun. And I think a lot of the parades have been on hiatus in many instances for the last couple of years. Some have, some haven't. That one, the Philippine Day Parade, was one where they were making a triumphant return after a couple of years off. And I think that was part of what contributed to their energy. They were just so excited and happy to be out there. That was a lot of fun. Lisa says, yeah, to be fair, all these parades are coming back after 2 years, so probably getting back into the swing of it. Exactly. So it's all coming back. It's so much fun. It's great to celebrate the diversity of New York City. Today, Dominican Republic, Dominican Americans, Dominican New Yorkers. And really cool, it's the 40th anniversary. Starting to see the next group make its way up, about half a block away. Here we go. And yes, JD was correct, he called it. I see Mayor Adams. He's in the middle in the white shirt. This is New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Now he's working the line, meeting with his constituents. That's funny. He went to say hello to a baby. In true politician fashion, working the crowd. Mayor Adams, New York City. Followed by Club Deportivo La Cueva de Queens. Service to the community. So it seems like a Dominican baseball club from Queens. That's cool. love the smaller groups at these parades. It's, you know, it's so much fun, and you get to celebrate all these groups that you're probably, you know, at least for me, I'm hearing about for the first time. It's so cool. Part of what makes this city fun to call home. Another group working its way up, about a half a block away. So we're starting to move again. Oh, I love the music today. The music today is really phenomenal. There's just a constant beat. Mini Bagel at home with Lisa on the couch is probably kicking quite a bit. Loves the sound. I think loves bass. Hope it's love anyways, for Lisa's sake. Instituto d'Ortano, República Dominica. So I know from my small claim to fame is I've walked every street in Manhattan, and it's on video. It's in my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. But I know on 6th Avenue near Sullivan Street, I think, thereabouts certainly, is a small park, and I think it has a statue of Duarte, so I'm definitely a little familiar with that. Always love when we see the, I'm using the word, but I hope you know what I mean, the costume, the dress of different cultures. Really beautiful. Love to celebrate different cultures. Today celebrating our friends from the Dominican Republic, the 40th Dominican Day Parade here in New York City. Probably have another couple minutes here, so grab yourself a nice cold drink. And if you're from the Dominican Republic, do me a favor, tell us about some of the authentic drinks from the Dominican Republic. What would you be enjoying right now if you could? And maybe you are. Let us know in the chat. Well, Lisa's having a little drink of her own, a homemade peanut butter smoothie. That's banana smoothie. That sounds wonderful. Enjoy. Hope Mini Bagel enjoys as well. Audra is here. Hola. Good to see you. We're here covering the 40th Dominican Day Parade live from New York City. Coming up next, David Fernandez. in remembrance, it seems. Siempre te recordaremos. David Fernandez, El Barbero, 1981-2022. And our good friend Donna Stedham is here. Gonna get my notifications figured out. Hello everybody. Hey Donna, it's so good to see you. And there's always the replay. But very happy to see you here live today. We're covering the 40th Dominican Day Parade live here in New York City, Midtown Manhattan. Gregory is in favor of the banana pudding. Well, I'm very close to Magnolia Bakery, famous for their banana pudding. Leopard Kind is here, my Dominican family. Well, happy you can be here to celebrate Dominican Day Parade in New York City with us. So this is Ciudadanía Dominicana. So those are members of the Consulate General of the Dominican Republic, the staff here in New York. Followed by the government of Dominican Republic, culture community, like the cultural engagement folks. Leopard Kind would be here too, dancing. Will feel better, Leopard? Well, everything's coming back, so we're starting to get folks back. We're starting to see folks again. The vibes here are good today. I'm starting to see a little buffering on my end. If after the fact it's too bad, I will, of course, post a replay. I always get a local, save a copy of the video that doesn't have any buffering. So if there's too much buffering, I'll post a replay.
Excuse me, you have a charger? I can charge my phone and call my son?
Yeah.
Let me charge my phone, please. It's not turning on and I gotta call.
It's only this long, though.
Thank you. Oh no, this charger doesn't fit.
Oh, it doesn't fit? No, it's only for, sorry. Trying to help her out. Unfortunately, the charger's not for her phone. The Dominican community is here in strength. As they say, takes all kinds. As we celebrate the 40th Dominican Day Parade here in New York City. We are celebrating. The energy is high. We have lots of good friends in the chat today. It's good to spend this time with everybody. Thank you for being here and celebrating Dominican Day with us, Dominican Day Parade. Another local politician coming up, Jennifer Rajkumar from the New York State Assembly, followed by a brand I'm sure many people are familiar with, Goya. I know we're on the lookout for the Coca-Cola parade float. Billy says, happy Dominican Day Parade. You know the vibes. Yes, absolutely. Don't worry about Nightbot. It doesn't love too many capitals, but thank you for being here and celebrating the Dominican Day Parade with us. Coming up next, Goya. Really great to celebrate the parade with you. Thank you for being here.
Yo soy el único en Dominicana con todos los contactos. Yo controlo todo manito como que un lacto. Todos los bloques en Paraguay, picante, calentón, matón. Por coger los batón te quito, con darle un botón ratón.
Great music here today. Looks like some of our local nonprofits coming up next. And some incredible costumes. Check this out coming up. Beautiful. That's awesome. Wow. So, Catholic Charities, Alianza, Dominica Cultural Center. So these are like youth organizations here in New York City. These costumes are incredible. Wow. Chriselle, did the Coca-Cola float pass by yet? Nope, not yet. Not yet. So the parade runs until 4 p.m. as far as I know. It's 2:46 local time. It's supposed to run until